everyone. This is a follow-up to my last video where I talked about the ERAS tour set list before opening night. I made some predictions, talked about what I might like to see or expect to see. Now, I was not at the show in Glendale. I'm going to see it in May, but I watched it live, switching between a few different live streams on TikTok and Instagram and discussing it in real time with other Swifties. I'm on the East Coast, so I was up until 4 a.m. watching it and then talking about it afterwards. So after days of rewatching and discussing it, this is like a mix of reaction and deep dive. I do my Swiftying mostly on Reddit right now over there, and I would imagine on Twitter and TikTok too. All anyone can talk about is the tour. Rave reviews, it's a dream come true, but because it's so long and such a spectacle and the production value is so amazing, it's hard to express any real constructive criticism right now. I haven't seen any negative opinions about the tour as a whole, but people get called a hater or a whiner if they question or analyze much about the finer details. So I think this video is a better way to get it all off my chest instead of talking about it over and over in the comments section when I should be asleep. I don't really have subscribers, so probably very few people will see this. It's also nice to be able to come back later after I see the show or after the whole tour ends and see if my thoughts have changed. I was also inspired by the Evolution of a Snake podcast. They just put out an episode breaking down the entire set list. When I see another content creator doing something I love, I want to do the same thing. So thanks to them for inspiring this. I definitely recommend checking out that podcast if you haven't already. Also check out 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast, and every single album by The Ringer. They're all big fans and they're very funny. I expect they'll each have an episode about the tour soon. So I'm going to talk about the whole show, the looks, the songs, things I think work best, choices that maybe didn't make sense. I'll try not to talk much about my personal favorites, but more how well she achieved what she set out to do. How does this tour showcase all the different sides of Taylor, her artistry, her legacy, her wide skill set, how well suited a song or arrangement was for a stadium? Sometimes that does mean that there is a song that could be changed or cut. And don't worry, Folklore and Evermore stands. I wouldn't take away from those sets. The newer albums never had their chance to shine, so they can get it now. But for the older eras, I strongly believe there could have been more balance or that some songs were redundant, so I'll talk about that. In preparation for this, I've been rewatching whatever videos I can find, and I'll keep doing that as I write the script. So let's look into the greatest show on earth. So first up, we had the Lover set. I think this era is a great place to start. Like, here's where we left off just before the pandemic hit. Give these songs the live performance they never got. I love the costuming. It's fun and sparkly, but with a hint of sexy and high fashion. Most of the colors are pastels, but the soles of her shoes are bright pink. As for the songs, Miss Americana, a totally wild way to open. Everybody was expecting Lavender Haze, including me. This is really cool, though. I saw someone point out that it introduces Taylor as our Miss Americana, our protagonist for the night. It's a song that feels epic, especially these lyrics. There really is nothing like this. Overall, a great intro, and it works as this snippet length. Then, Cruel Summer. This was the moment we'd all been waiting for, and it was magnificent. I said in my previous video that this song would work really well as the second song to hype up the crowd, and that's exactly how she did it. I love how she emphasized the bridge and even gave us an extended outro, an absolute slay. The Man. I'm not surprised she did this, but I thought she might do Me instead of or in addition to this. Some people would cut it. It does work well in a live setting, but I don't think it's a song that she absolutely must keep because she did perform it live a lot before the pandemic, but it's fun. I like it. Then You Need to Calm Down, another song that a lot of people aren't crazy about. The Swiftologist was cringing at this in his reaction video. I don't have a strong opinion. I even put it in my hypothetical set list, and it was shortened. But maybe, yeah, she didn't need it. This Lover set already has so many singles and no real deep cuts. Then, Lover. I really liked this too. She was smiling, the crowd was into it. She had the guitar, but she got to stand there and take a break from the choreography. There were giant hearts projected onto the crowd. I think this could have worked better at the end of the set as the finale. Either way, beautiful. The Archer, another less predictable choice. We just had a slow song, so another is kind of boring, but I know there are fans who adore this song and it means a lot to them. So while it wouldn't have been my choice, I'm okay with it. Overall, I think this set was pretty good. The album has 18 songs, so it's really hard to narrow it down to just 6. A lot of people wanted Cornelia Street or I Think He Knows or Death by a Thousand Cuts, but it's difficult to say clearly which of these songs could be swapped out for that. So while maybe there are stronger songs on the album, it is a good beginning to the show. Second set was the Fearless set. To start, Fearless is the most nostalgic era for me. I was a fan before that, but this one has the most memories. And this set exceeded my expectations. I thought we would only get 2 songs. When the Lover House on the screen turned gold and she came out in that glitter dress, I had the biggest smile on my face. Her parents put all the sparkles on the guitar, which is so sweet. I like the second dress too, but those rope things look heavy, so hopefully it's comfortable. She played as her first song, Fearless, the song. When I heard these chords, I can't even describe how I felt. I thought it was unlikely she would play this song, so I was so happy. Of course, I wish she had included the second verse. We all wish that for our favorites, but I'm just so happy she did it. Then You Belong With Me. This was everything. There was a guitar projected onto the stage. At my show, I'm going to scream along to it like I was 15 again. Love Story, once again, great. This is one of those songs that she'll perform at every show until the end of time. She'll be doing it at 90 with a gold sparkly cane, and we'll still be there for it. This was maybe my favorite set of the older eras, either this or Reputation. I'm gonna ascend when I see it live. Then the Evermore set. There was a lot to like here. She did 5 songs, at least in part. That's more than we thought. I expected 2 or 3, but mostly folklore. The costume was great, both hers and the dancers, and the decorations on the piano. It was woodsy and witchy and fit this album just right. She started with "'Tis the Damn Season," definitely not the opener we expected, very dramatic. There maybe could have been a bigger song to open the set, but I do like this. I don't have a strong opinion about it being here. I'm just glad for the fans who didn't think they would hear it and got so happy when those chords started. A win for some of us is a win for all of us. Willow, I think this should have been first in the set, but beyond that, it's great. The cloak, the dancers being a whole witch's coven with the lanterns, love it. Then Marjorie. This was a very odd choice. No one expected it, which makes it even more exciting for people who love it. The screams in the crowd seemed big for this one, but I do think maybe another song would be better here, and here's why. This song is very personal to Taylor. It's about her grandmother. Some people at the show reported that she was crying after she performed it. This tour must already be demanding beyond belief, and then on top of that, she's singing this over 50 times. That must be really taxing for her. We know there are songs she won't perform live because they're too emotional. This song is also hard on some fans because it reminds them of a loved one they've lost. A lot of people say they love this song, but they skip it because it's too sad. So for Taylor's mental well-being and the well-being of some in the audience, perhaps she could have left this one off. She could have done it as a surprise song if there's a show close to her grandma's birthday or anniversary or something, but she wouldn't have put it there if she didn't think she could handle it. As for the performance itself, it's good, especially the bridge. Champagne Problems. We knew she wanted to do it, and here it is. One of the best moments of opening night was her face when everyone sang. Her eyes bulged out and she had this smirk. A moment over 2 years in the making for her and us. And Tolerate It. Another shock. The staging is great. The sound swells beautifully. I'm not sure it's the best song to end on because it's such a downer, but very well done. I have mixed feelings about this set. From my scouring the web, it seems a lot of people do. Evermore has some fast and mid-tempo songs that are also fan favorites, so I'm surprised she picked 4 ballads instead. I think different selections could have been made to keep up the momentum and show off the diversity of the album, but I do agree 5 songs is an appropriate amount, and the staging is excellent. Next, we have Reputation. Once again, great to hear people freak when the snake scales came on screen. That outfit is fucking amazing, one of my favorites. I will say, in the interest of distributing the eras more evenly, I think possibly one song from this could have been cut or at least presented differently. This was her most recent tour, so I think Rep could take a backseat for now. But it's very difficult to say that because every moment of this set was so great. She opens with Ready for It, of course. Awesome. The choreography, the lighting, it bangs. This is the one where part of me feels this could have been shortened a bit, or the sound guys could have just played while she was changing her costume. That's what she did before the Red set. There were little snippets of multiple songs during the little video introduction. This song wasn't as big as far as charting and streaming numbers, and we know that's a factor on this tour, so that's why I say maybe doing the whole song isn't essential, but because it's here, it was fantastic. It's obviously the perfect opener, but I have more on that later. Delicate, nice performance. It's definitely a greatest hit. Gives her a break after shaking her ass. She even held her fingers up for... One of the things I believe in for this tour is having upbeat and slow songs for each album, so this song is important to show the softer, romantic side of the era. Don't Blame Me. This is another example of where we see that streams and TikTok popularity drove the setlist choices. That's okay though. This song is mostly about the vocals, and those were great. She got on her knees, very iconic for the fans. This does feel pretty similar to Ready for It, presentation-wise. That's part of why I say maybe that song wasn't necessary, but they're both here, they're both great. Look What You Made Me Do. Wow. If you had asked me beforehand if I thought this song should be on the set list, I would have said no. The video made a big impact, but the song was only on the charts for like 1 week, and a lot of people don't like the song itself. But then I watched this performance, and she brings this song to a different level. The staging with all the different tailors trapped in boxes and the dancers dressed like the old tailor. Whatever designer conceived this should get a raise. The rock arrangement with the guitar riff, she is a rock star here. The only thing that maybe could have been better would be opening the set with this. In an alternate universe, if she didn't do Ready for It because it's not a greatest hit or a TikTok hit, this would make such a statement as the first Rep song. I can't wait to see this fucking bring the house down live. Based on these videos, I think the Reputation set is one of the strongest on the tour. Maybe it's one song too long. Fearless was more commercially successful, and it had 3 songs, so maybe 3 would be right for Rep too, but all of these performances are outstanding. The Speak Now set. Watching the purple on the live stream and hearing the crowd cheer when everything turned purple was so great. I love both of the ball gowns. Every outfit here is so sparkly. Maybe that's a nod to Midnight's injecting the current era into all the past ones. She did Enchanted, the fan favorite. I think we all knew she would do it because of TikTok, and she sang the heck out of it. After this song ended and it transitioned into the red screen, the reactions and live comments were so confused, we thought surely there had to be more. Even at the end of the show, during the Midnight set, people were waiting for Long Live as a finale or an encore because that song is so suited for the ERAS theme. Now, days later, many still feel that way. Speak Now wasn't a commercial smash, but it sold more albums than Reputation, and it remains the only album that she wrote entirely by herself. That's a big deal for her as an artist and should be celebrated. Plus, it's chock full of fan favorites, and one song won a Grammy. So I'm definitely on the side that this era deserves another song or two. Not in addition, but instead of a song from the older albums that get 4 or 5. The Enchanted performance itself, though, was enchanting. Up next is the Red set. We knew this album would get some special treatment because of the Taylor's version, and it gets maybe even a little more than people thought. 3 outfits and 4 songs, or more if you consider the length of time. It starts with audio clips from a bunch of other songs from the album, and goes into 22. Seeing her come out in the "a lot going on at the moment" t-shirt was such a mood. She had a different one for night 2. I wonder if she has a third one and she'll rotate them for Friday, Saturday, Sunday performances. This performance was really fun, and we need those costumes in the show somehow. But this is one song that, in the interest of giving every album a shot, would be a candidate for cutting. Based on streams, which seem to be the deciding factor for her, this song is a ways behind the other 2 Max Martin tracks. We need that outfit and that t-shirt, so maybe she could have come out wearing them, but then started performing "We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together" and flung off the shirt halfway through. Then, "We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together," another fun one. I love the sparkly maroon bodysuit. This song, I think, would have been the other potential cut. She did it on the last 3 tours, and some people don't like the vocals on the new version, so maybe it's time to retire it for now. I think it's great to start the set with an upbeat track and get the party started, but she could do that with 22 or this. With both, it's 2 very similar songs and vibes back to back. They were hits, but I don't think they're sacred greatest hits that she must do like Love Story is. Then, "I Knew You Were Trouble." This song should be on the set list. It shows some sonic diversity and has the most streams. That actually surprised me before I looked up the numbers for this video. I thought "We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together" would have the most streams. The performance slaps. There's pyro, there's laser beams projected on the stage. She does a glory note on the bridge. Excellent. And then, of course, the all too well 10-minute version. We knew she was going to do it. It does sound a tad sped up. If you count the timestamps on the videos, it's more like 9 minutes. We know this song means so much to her, and the fan participation made it even better. I also love the confetti. There's autumn leaves falling down earlier in the song, then snow at the end. It's good it's at the end of the set, because no other song could follow this. In brief, the red set was about what I expected, singles and all too well 10. However, I think we could have done with one less single, because a couple of them are very similar and don't show the range that this album had. And then, the folklore set. I am so happy she brought back the mossy cabin as a set piece. I absolutely love the 2021 Grammys performance, and I love both dresses here. Again, I wonder if she has a third one for those cities where she's doing 3 shows. As people have mentioned, it's very Stevie Nicks, very Fae Queen. She starts with 7 spoken word version. Some people are counting this as a song on the set list, some aren't. It takes up as much time as a partial song would. So 7 stands will have to weigh in here. Did you love that she acknowledged it, or would you rather have the music? Then, Invisible String. I really liked this, how she's sitting on the roof of the cabin and the forest is slowly moving behind her. It's a good first song to set the mood. It's nice she includes this because it is about Joe. Very sweet. Then Betty. I was expecting all the trilogy songs, but like more as a mashup. I wasn't expecting this one in full. I like how they added more instrumentation in there. It sounds great in the stadium. She and the backup singers are having fun after the key change. This will be a fun sing-along when I see it. Then The Last Great American Dynasty. She really went all out for this one with all the dancers in period dress. Musically, I think something could have been done to make it sound bigger for a stadium, but it definitely looks big. I know a lot of people love this one, so it's great she does it on this scale. I'm going to have a marvelous time ruining my voice singing along, and ruining it even more for the next song, which is August. We knew it was probably a lock for the set list. There's a single spotlight shining on her. She's floating around and singing it beautifully. It sounded like her voice gave out a little on the bridge, but it could be my imagination. That won't happen at every show. I know this will be one of my favorite moments live because it's one of my favorite songs. Illicit Affairs. This was so good, turning it into a rock ballad. I wish more songs in this set had gotten that treatment. It would bring up the energy without Taylor really having to do more. Definitely the climax of the set. My Tears Ricochet. Another kind of literal theatrical presentation, the way that Tolerate It and The Last Great American Dynasty were. I know this is a massive fan favorite, and people were so excited that she's doing it live. It's spooky, it shows off her lower range, it really brings the song to life. And she closed with Cardigan. This song is so ethereal and beautiful and has so much atmosphere with the little fairy lights floating around. I knew it was a lock for the set list, so it's an absolute treat to finally hear it. Maybe having it earlier would have made more sense, but I can't complain. The folklore set was hotly anticipated, and I think it's really good. I think mostly she made these songs work in a stadium. Maybe it was a song or two too long. Neither Lover nor Evermore got this many songs, even though they're also newer albums. But I know this is so many people's favorite, and every single song is so important to them, so I won't suggest any specific cuts. People are beyond satisfied, and it fully captured the magic of the album. Then comes the 1989 set, another great costume. At first I didn't realize that the pink two-piece was a callback to one of the outfits from that tour. Again, I wonder if she has a third, maybe a light blue or silver. This set is energetic and certainly very entertaining, but there are some questionable choices that I'll talk about. She opens with Style, good opener, and it's a fan favorite. The boxes light up, reminiscent of city buildings. Then Blank Space, the national anthem. This one must take some courage for the dancers to ride around on bikes on the catwalk. The neon golf clubs are the perfect callback to the iconic music video. This I would consider a sacred greatest hit that belongs on every tour, at least for the foreseeable future. And then Shake It Off, another sacred must-do song. Every single dancer is up there giving it their all. All the normies in the audience who got dragged along can still dance to this one. Wildest Dreams. This one fulfills the job of showing a slower tempo, a different side of the 1989 era. The visuals on the screen are indeed dreamy. I do wonder why she put the line,
"And say you'll remember me, standing in a nice dress, staring at the sunset,"
before the folklore set. It's strange to do it that way if you're going to do the real song later, but I like the performance. Bad Blood. I have a lot of thoughts about this. It is fun in a stadium. We love the fire and seeing a homage to the Girl Squad. However, I think it would have been time to retire this song. It's kind of like Better Than Revenge. She's matured past the whole Katy Perry feud. She did it on both of the last two tours, and perhaps most importantly, it is not liked by most fans or critics at all. Some people think it's her worst song. I have nothing against it. I actually remember where I was when I first heard it, and I thought, what is this? It bangs. But I don't think it's a greatest hit. The set already has several of those. It doesn't have as many streams as the other singles. And she knows she doesn't have to do a song just because it was a single, because she didn't do Me. Of all the songs that could have been left out to make room for Speak Now and Debut, this is the top example. It's also not a great finale for the era. Shake It Off or Style would have been better in this spot. As you can see, I'm not as sold on this set, especially the inclusion of Bad Blood. It's not easy for me to criticize this because I love 1989. It's my favorite of her pop albums. But if the goal is to give tribute to her more commercially successful albums, Fearless is the next after this one, and that got 3 songs. So I think 3 or 4 would be fair here too. After 1989, she does her surprise set. I won't say too much about this because the songs change every night. I love the dresses, the look of the instruments. I love the idea of having one guitar song and one piano song. So far, as of me recording this, she's done Mirrorball, Tim McGraw, This Is Me Trying, and State of Grace. I think Mirrorball is unique and special enough that it deserves to be on the folklore set. There are so many fans for whom that song is very meaningful, and I'll talk about Tim McGraw in a bit. Another exciting thing is when she said she won't repeat a song unless she messes it up. That, to me, really suggests these are being recorded. Even though I don't know exactly which songs she'll play at my show, I really anticipate this set, and I think it's always going to be a highlight because it's the most intimate. The debut set. Now, as we know, there is no debut set. I've seen so much name calling and people getting shamed or made fun of if they think debuts should get even one song in the set list. It's the worst kind of internet behavior, so I don't want to dwell on it. I think every album deserved representation, and there are ways to do that without adding more. No one ever said 44 songs isn't enough. It's incredible. When people arrived at the stadium on opening night, the schedule started leaking, and people saw that the set list might be over 3 hours. We were thrilled because that meant there was time to do justice to every album. It was really moving to hear Tim McGraw at the very start of her career, and we were okay that debut probably wouldn't get more than that. But then the second night, it was revealed that was a surprise song, and not every audience will hear a debut song. That runs contrary to the mission statement of the tour. Without Taylor Swift, the album, there wouldn't be Taylor Swift, the artist. In past and future tours are shorter, it's okay to leave out debut, but this is the ERAS tour. Debut is on the poster, there's debut specific merch. All of that strongly suggested it was going to be in the show. On the live stream, every time the era changed and Taylor came out in a new outfit, I was so glad to hear the cheering and the screaming from the crowd about to hear their favorite album. But debut fans, who are by definition some of her oldest and most loyal fans, won't get that. Surprise songs are great, but they aren't a substitute because that's based on luck. And I'm not suggesting deep cuts here. Debut had 2 singles that charted in mainstream top 40, not just country radio. I love data and graphs, so I'll present 2 charts here. This one is the set list as it is now, except for the surprise songs, because whatever albums those come from will change at each show. I'm counting All Too Well 10 here as 2 songs because of the length. This one is what I think a lot of the debut and Speak Now fans are talking about. The total number of songs stays the same. Again, no one could possibly ask Taylor to do any more. The number of newer songs stays the same, so there's still a big focus on the 4 most recent albums, but the older songs are just tweaked to make it a little more equal. I know it's too late, the set list is what it is, but if something like this had happened, a lot of people would have been a lot less disappointed. We know she can't play every person's favorite song, but there's no excuse why there can't be at least one permanent song from debut. Out of 3 hours, she could have given it 3 minutes. If it's true that she's recording all the surprise songs, hopefully she releases them on a live album with Tim McGraw and the rest. And finally, the Midnight set. Probably by the time around when she was doing 1989, we knew she was going to end with Midnights. It's the perfect way to bring us back to the present in what's now her most successful era. That transition where she jumps off stage and swims underneath, it's probably just a light projection, but wow, no wonder the audience was screaming. Lavender Haze. We knew that would be the first song, we thought it would be the first one for the whole show, not just this set. There's a lot going on here with the purple clouds, everything on screen, the fur coat. It definitely created a mood. I like the part where she kind of yells over the vocal track. Then Antihero, a must-have. This one may someday reach sacred status. She can make even an oversized t-shirt look sparkly and amazing. The visuals with the giant Taylor are like the video, but it also gives us that imagery of the 2 Taylors, the big one on screen and the real one on stage. Then she did Midnight Rain. Love the rain effects. As for the song, I expected this one to be a bit sleepy live, and it was. This is a song that's best enjoyed with the intimacy of headphones, but I know it's very high in the streaming numbers, and it's already short, so she can't really make it shorter. The costume change where she falls back for a while and then re-emerges with the bodysuit, that's incredible. That outfit announces that she came to slay in the home stretch. Then Vigilante Shit, another song that is sonically not very big. It doesn't really build, but she made it dynamic with this cell block tango kind of burlesque dance. This is kind of like Look What You Made Me Do, in that if I had just looked at the songs in the set list without watching the videos, I would have been like, do we really need this song? But after seeing it, I think the performance justified its place. Then Bejeweled, another very straightforward adaptation that takes a lot from the music video. It's fun. It works great in this setting with all the light effects. Then Mastermind, definitely another unexpected choice. This is also pretty lo-fi, maybe hard to pull off in a stadium with thousands of people screaming over it. The black and white graphics look cool. It suggests dominoes. I do think the lyrics are suited to the era's theme. However, this is a song where I'm going to make a case for a specific replacement. If she were going to put more debut and speak now, there are a lot of options. But for the Midnight set, the most obvious omission is You're on Your Own, Kid. A lot of people are surprised it's not here. It was big on TikTok. She does all the other new track fives. It would have fit the tour as a look back at her whole life, basically, and would have been such an emotional moment with the audience. I love Mastermind, but I don't think it achieves that much connection, that let's all cry together moment, the way a penultimate song should. Then Karma, the last song, here it is. We reach the end of this massive show with this cool bop. I love the rainbow tinsel thing she's wearing, and all the dancers have one in different colors. The whole thing is flashy, it's colorful. Taylor commands the stage, a strong finale. And that's the whole concert. Thank you so much if you actually listened to all this. Needless to say, the Eras Tour is a monumental achievement for Taylor and a treat for us fans. We always knew it would be. I'm impressed she even did it without any mashups. Nothing in this world is perfect. There are definitely some things that I think don't help the tour or the fans, but the show on a whole is on such a high level. I'm so glad it's here. I'm glad people streamed it and are posting videos, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it for real in May. Have a great night.